Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, which means it's my favorite day of the week because I get to hang out with you guys. And today I have an even more special guest. Not like they're more special than you guys per se, but a very, very special guest that I'm super excited to bring on. I was just talking to him like right before we joined on together. That this is like our fifth time doing this now. So I'm just like so chill every time he and I are kind of just chatting before we join or before we get up here live with you guys. We've had really, really good conversations on my channel, on his channel, and we even went live in the Printify Sellers Club, which is a private Printify membership, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it was an awesome conversation, even though I was very, very sick. It was a really good conversation to have in that private membership. So I'm super, super excited to bring him back to basically double down on the conversation that we had, I want to say around, I think it was 5 months ago, which is crazy that it's already been that long. Like the fact that it's almost April is absolutely insane. So I'm super excited to have George McConnell come on the channel with us again today and talk about paid advertising and a little bit of social organic advertising as well. That is just really where my lane is the organic creative director side. I have dipped my toes into the paid side a couple of times for clients, but it is just not where it's not my forte. It's not where my energy lies. It is not something that I enjoy necessarily doing. So what I really, really want to do is utilize this channel to get as many people that are much smarter than me on this channel in order to give you guys exactly what you need to build a holistic, successful business. Okay. So before I bring Mr. George out, we actually have a lot of people in chat already, which is awesome because I think there's a lot of people from George's community here. So thank you guys so much for trusting me and coming over to this side of the internet if you're not already a part of ours. We've got a lot of people from a lot of different places already saying their good mornings. I also see someone, Michelle Myers, said, can we get notified of this sooner? PST people almost miss it. Absolutely, no problem. I will work with our email marketing team to try to get some quicker things out there, maybe like on Wednesday or so. But just so you guys know, for Michelle and anybody else for that matter, if you're looking to come to the EverBee Coffee with EverBee, that we have our live stream every single week, whether it just be with myself, whether we're doing a demo, a tutorial, a training series, or whether I do have a guest on the channel, 9.9 times out of 10, you are going to see me at 10 a.m. Eastern, which would obviously be 7 a.m. PST, I believe, 9 a.m. CST. So you will see me at 10 a.m. Eastern every single Thursday. And if we are not going live for some reason, maybe I'm on vacation or we are on someone else's channel that week, whatever it is, I give you an insane amount of letting you know before it doesn't happen or before we're on a different channel in the Facebook group. So highly recommend, if you're not already there, Michelle, everybody else for that matter as well, please join the private Facebook group. Also, just so you know, this is just for anybody who's on the EverBee channel. Every time we are having a live stream the following Thursday. So let's just say next Thursday, for example, I actually get it live on YouTube the prior Friday. So literally tomorrow, next Thursday's live stream is going to be scheduled. So if you were ever wondering if we're going to have a live stream, what the topic is, who the guest is, whatever it is, you can literally find that every single Friday, usually between 10 and 12 Eastern. That's going to go live for you guys, and it will be something that you can turn your notifications on and be reminded of this when it goes live. Cool. With that said, I also wanted to let you guys know of 2 little housekeeping things today before we jump into the paid ads conversation. So this week, I launched a video that was like super random and very, very different than what I've ever done before, but I had a blast with it, and it seems like you guys are having a blast with it too. So what I posted was Printify just recently launched print-on-demand books. I want to say it was maybe like 2 weeks ago or so, because I made the video like 2 weeks ago. So it would have been 2 to 3 weeks ago they launched it. So we have board books for like toddlers and infants, coloring books, even Kindle e-reader cases that you can actually do with print on demand now. So I made a video about how I personally built with AI a board book for children and a coloring book for adults. And you guys seem to be really liking that video. So if you have not seen it yet, I wanted to bring your attention to that. It went live on Tuesday. So if you you are coming from George's community and you're interested in diving into a tutorial of sorts of how I built that book utilizing AI and Printify's print-on-demand fulfillment partner or system, then please feel free to check that out after this guy. It is the very first video you'll see on our channel from Tuesday at 11 a.m. The second thing I wanted to hit with you guys with real fast is starting next Tuesday, doing a 2-part series on kind of like a mock-ups masterclass of sorts. So we're splitting it into 2 parts because the first part got long and I didn't want you guys to have to sit into a 45-minute to an hour-long video. Wanted to kind of make it digestible and very easy for you to comprehend and apply. That's what I really want. So the first week, we're going to talk about mock-ups in general, how they help increase your CTR, and increase your ROAS, which is a return on ad spend, which we're going to talk a little bit about today in the paid advertising space, and then how to curate them. So what should you be doing for the first 10 photos, for the first 20 if you're on Etsy, because they obviously expanded that now. So if that's something you're interested in, it's going to go live next Tuesday for part 1, and then part 2 is the following Tuesday. So we'll kind of close out March, really focusing on the mock-ups masterclass. Then we're going to get into higher profit margin print-on-demand items. And then you guys are the first people that are going to know about this because we just made this decision yesterday. I'm actually going to go behind the scenes and build an entire EverBee store dedicated to whatever category you guys vote on based on the high profit print or the high profit margin print on demand items that I give you. So give me 3 weeks. That's going to come out and I'm going to be showing you 33 different high profit margin items. And then I want you guys to tell me what to do next. I want you to vote on which category you want to see from what I discuss, and then we'll be able to kind of get through April building that series as well. So I wanted to get you guys excited and pumped. We are almost done. I say done lightly because I love talking about print on demand, but we are almost done with our full print on demand series that will go through the month of April, and then we'll start getting a little bit more into digital products as the year goes on as well. So I really wanted to get you guys excited for what's to come. And please, again, if you are from George's community, I hope that we'll be able to see you inside our community as well. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and go ahead and give me a boop on this live stream as well so I can go ahead and bring our friend George to the forefront. Here we go. I see you taking a drink. Hey, buddy.
All right. Yeah.
Hello. How are you?
I was over here messing with myself, trying to get my hood right. Okay. So thank you so much for having me on again. I really appreciate it. Like you said, it's a good time being on here. Obviously, we always have fun. And we enjoy each other's company. So
amen. That's what I was saying is like, I just really just never have an issue. I don't want to say issue's bad. I never have like a fear when I'm coming into these or whatever. I'm just like hanging out with my friend George, like teach me something, because I love learning from you. And I know our community does as well. So George, go ahead for anybody. I know we have a lot of people from your community here, but for anybody who might not know you, can you kind of give a little bit of background as to your experience, what you've done, and why we should listen to you today as in regards to organic and paid advertising?
Let's see. So for those of you that don't know me, quit my job back in 2019. I was mainly in corporate for 15 years. I worked for companies like Samsung and Sharp. I learned how to market pretty much through Samsung, how to understand how consumers think, and then how to use Facebook ads and social media in general. And that's what helped me, succeed in where I am today. Launched my business 2019, first year made 286. I was making $1 million by year 3. I've already surpassed, over 6 million online, and I'm trying to hit 8 figures, still trying to figure that part out on hopefully each year. Because once you get to that goal of hitting 7 figures, your next goal is to try to hit 8 figures, So I know a lot of information, dumb information too. So if you ever just want to BS, I can, sit there all day doing that as well. But I love helping people. I just really want to have everybody out there succeed. I started my business with $100, and the strategies that I used helped build this empire that I have today. So I know it's all possible. You just need to be given the right steps, because if you're not, then you're all over the place, scattered. You start doubting yourself, you give up. I don't want you to give up. I want you to succeed. I want you to have the life that you deserve and you dream about.
I love that. And I actually didn't know that I think you mentioned this last time, but I want to hit it again. The fact that you did your first million in 3 years is insane. That's really, really good online. Obviously, especially if I mean, you kind of came from a good place of like that sales background, which is nice. And sometimes people that don't have the sales background get really nervous promoting themselves, which I understand because I actually have been in a sales background for literally my entire career almost. And I still am like, I don't want to be self promoting all the time. So, can you let me know from the time that you started, got 286 in your first year, $286,000 in your first year, and then you got up to a place of $1 million a year? How fast sorry, one second. If you're trying to build a print on demand business in 2026. Sorry, one second. I don't know what is going on with. Sorry, there's another video just started playing on YouTube. I'm so sorry. So if you can give me a little bit of background of at what point in that 3-year trajectory did you start or see that paid advertising was the way to get to the next step? Was it immediate because of your past experience, or was it more like, I tried organic for a while, organic was working, I saw things selling and I was seeing proven demand, then I put money behind it? How long was that?
Like thought wise, it was immediate. I knew that it was going to be required. Obviously, coming from where I came from, Samsung. When I started Samsung, it was 2006. Nobody knew who they were. So to be able to, grab, like jump from place to place in there, learn about their cell phones, learn about their tablets, learn about their TVs, and see how they advertise. I knew right from there, like you're in a world that there are tons of competition. So if you think about it, if you're wearing just like a regular shirt, say I'm wearing this shirt and I had like something written on it and I'm in Times Square walking around and I walk through Times Square where nobody's really paying attention to anybody, because I'm from Jersey originally, so I know that.
Focused right ahead.
Nobody's going to be looking at
screens.
Yeah, nobody's going to be looking at you. So at the end of that, right, if you stop and you go, okay, how many people actually saw me right now? Maybe one. If they could even remember, but they may not even remember what was on the shirt. So how I look at paid advertisement is you literally have a stand in the middle of that Times Square and you're screaming off the top of your lungs, right? But then once you dial into the consumer, instead of you screaming off the top of your lungs where you're getting some attention, now you have a microphone in your hand. Now everybody's turning going, what the heck is going on? And now you have all the eyes on you. So without paid advertisement, especially now when there's 15,000 shirts being added every single day to Etsy, you're not going to be seen. But, the other part and aspect of that is social media. Because without social media in this day and age, you're going to just kind of have a very difficult time, whether that's organic or paid or whatnot, just because of the amount of people trying to make money online and just want to stay home.
Yeah, that's true. So when you, I know that you have like a couple of different businesses, or maybe it's just kind of like mine where it's like the umbrella business and then you got a couple of different offers. Physical products, there's some digital products course-wise, there's some coaching, there's obviously your membership group. I know you're going to tease a little bit of something else that you just recently built to help all of us. I'm super excited to talk about that in a second. But are you running ads? Just a curiosity for me. Are you running ads for all of these different types of businesses, or are you seeing more success potentially in like physical products because there's so many physical products coming into the space every day? Like you said, more people want to work online, work from home. Are you seeing more like, I got to put more money in this space, like where our people might be in the POD or the handmade space? Or are you doing like a maybe across the board it's pretty much the same because you're really focusing on the target audience itself? Do you feel like you're utilizing paid advertising for all of the different strategies or all the different businesses you're running?
So it depends on which one. For the communities, I don't run any ads unless I want to hit a certain demographic.
Nice.
So for instance, this is where a lot of people make mistakes, is because they think one ad pertains to every customer. So if I do one ad and I have my shirt on that I wrote and just took a magic marker and wrote crap on it, that gets so much attention from the younger demographic that I can grab so many people in there for like nothing.
True.
But with the older demographic, like the ads is a little different. So if I just do that organically, I get a lot more reach and a lot more people into the communities than I would if I do ads, especially since I have the price point at $7 a month.
Right.
It's a little, you have to think about, okay, well, how many people am I going to get in there? How much am I going to spend? So on and so forth. So in that aspect, I don't. But anything else that I do, product wise, media wise, things like that, because my margins are so high that I could actually advertise, and I'm good with that. So say if I'm trying to reach out companies and I charge 10,000 retainer to start with them, to implement everything and audit everything, I can easily spend a couple grand in ads and it not affect me, right? But it usually doesn't take that much. It takes maybe $100 or $200.
Nice.
But either way, with that being said, it's all about margin wise. Like, how much margin do you have? And that's what I always tell everybody. Like, I didn't get rich off the products. I got rich off my margins to make sure that I had enough money coming in my pocket at the end of the day.
Nice.
So when you are running ads, you need to make sure, okay, do I have a pocket of money left for this ad? And then who do I want to target? Because how you target and who you target, you have to run those differently.
We're going to talk about targeting a little bit later. So I want to make sure that we come back to this, because I do think immediately off the bat, like I said, I understand paid advertising, unfortunately, like the back of my hand, but it's just not for me. It's not something that I enjoy doing on a daily basis. So I have ads managers that I hire, right? However, I have the capital to invest in that. Plus, because that, you're paying for the ads manager and then you're paying for the ad spend, right? So it's like a not to exceed amount potentially, right? And then you, on the other hand, have a high amount of paid ads knowledge. So we're already talking about pretty high level stuff here in just the first 15 minutes we've been together. A lot of the community here might be like, well, that's something I could never touch because I don't have the capital to invest, and or I don't even maybe have proof of product yet. So maybe there's not even something that's like, I need to put money behind this because it will 100% work. Or maybe they don't have paid ads experience. So in your experience, do you have to be a paid ads expert to see a return for your business? Or is there like rudimentary stuff that they could learn and outside of Etsy ads? We're talking meta ads, whatever it is right now, TikTok ads, whatever they want to run in social media paid advertising. Do you believe that people in our community that might be in the more like beginner to intermediate stage of their POD, digital, handmade, whatever it is, business, do you think that they have the ability to run paid ads on their own? And if so, what resources would you recommend?
So, you don't have to be an expert. And before I start, I can't see the chat right now. So everybody that is from my community, drop some money symbols in there. Okay, that
seeing a lot of G money symbols. They're doing a great job.
So you don't have to be an expert, but where everybody fails is that they think that they know who they're targeting, and then they try to do the drop downs and they do it incorrectly. So they'll think that they have a certain customer or avatar, as we call it, and we understand what that means is, an avatar is like specific person, not just a demographic, not is it male or female. It is a specific person that you're trying to target. And in most cases, people just mess up the drop-down menus or how to actually target them specifically. And that's where they end up spending a lot of money and they don't get instant returns. Or they have the misinformation that they see online that everything is easy in life and I could just turn on ads and I'll be a millionaire tomorrow. Right. If it was like that, we would all be, millionaires. And if hard work really was the, ultimate thing of what made you all the money, then garbage men would be the richest people in the world. And that's no offense to anybody that is a garbage man. I'm just saying, like, they work hardest.
They work hard. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would never be able to survive that job. I would die after a day.
Right. Literally. But, my husband's a mailman in Michigan and he's out there in all the weathers. And I was like, I would have gave up on my first day that it was not sunny.
Exactly. I am not built for manual labor, so with that being said, it's like you just have to be smarter. You don't have to be an expert. You just need to know who you're targeting. And that comes down to even when you're selling products online too. You need to know who you're designing for. We're not designing for ourselves here. We're designing for a specific person. And when you're targeting people, doing it that way as well. See, the great thing now is, Meta is pretty much taking over everything because they feel like they could do a better job. And to be honest with you, they probably can for most people. Yeah. There is a new way about doing this, which is old way, but it's more new for a lot of people that are part of, the communities and not understanding paid ads. Is once you start building up your social media, you have an option to target people that are part of your social media, which then gives Facebook and Meta a better idea of who your core audience is, so that they know who to attack. Then you can create lookalike, and then you can go from there. There's a difference between warm leads and cold leads. And, warm lead is targeting your people that you're actually follow you, versus cold leads is trying to get people that have never seen you before. So you don't necessarily have to be an expert. You just need to know the proper strategy, which is what I try to teach on every single one of my videos, every single time that I'm in my community, every time I'm on a live. I'm trying to just teach those little steps because it really is simpler than most people think.
So you mentioned a second ago, like we talked about this very, very lightly at the beginning too, that like having that organic social presence too is going to allow you to make lookalike audiences. Because if you're just coming from Etsy to Meta ads, you don't really have a lookalike audience yet because you can't really export that from Etsy and necessarily embed it into Facebook yet. So how important is it for someone to, or not even how important, I think we know the answer of how important. How long should someone have an organic presence, or how big does the organic presence need to be to then make our ads easier?
You actually don't need that money. Like if you want to use Facebook ads, maybe like 100, that's really it.
Nice.
But to gain the actual people isn't that difficult, to be honest with you. It just takes a little bit of time. A lot of people, like I said, it's the whole misinformation out there that you can just throw on one post and you'll have thousands of followers, right? If you start with consistency and you're always consistently posting and you're always making sure, okay, this is for the consumer, this is what the consumer wants, you're going to get a great following. And I created an app called 1 Hour Social to help everybody manage their social media all in one platform. It helps you easily post. You have unlimited accounts, unlimited posts, all your ads, all in there. And one of the people that's actually part of that community and program posted the other day showing their stats of them like listening, them posting consistently, them posting 40 pins in Pinterest and 7 Facebooks all in one day, right? Which wouldn't be possible if you're sitting there in the actual platforms. That's why I designed that. They already have 120 impressions in just 7 days.
Nice.
And they already have over almost 1,000 people that are following them just in the past 2 weeks.
And they're brand new?
Yeah, brand new.
Wow.
It's all about being out there and putting out the content that people want to see, and also making sure that you know who you're targeting, right? Because at the end of the day, what social media is there for is for us to escape our lives. Whether we like to admit that or not, we're sitting there at night, we're in our bed, and we're like, wow, I really wish I could go on vacation, or wow, I really wish I could have that bigger house, right? And as we're scrolling through the web and Instagram or Facebook or whatnot, we're getting sucked into these lifestyles or products, and we're staying there much longer. And we love that, and as people, we like to dream. So if you can create that emotional connection with your consumer, you're going to skyrocket. And then once you turn those into ads, obviously now Facebook knows, hey, these are the people that we could target to make their life a reality with your product.
I love that. So are you doing, let's just use this girl as an example if you'd like, but is it more video content? Is it carousel content? And then like maybe what channel do you see potentially helping the best? And I want to add a little bit of feedback here too, because obviously I think it does depend on your audience, of course. But if you want to get the fastest results, the fastest data in order to go to paid advertising, what platform or what strategy would you put into place for organic?
Facebook and Instagram, to be honest with you. TikTok is great, and you have the option to really go viral very quickly. But platforms are not all the same. The way that they show content, the way that they prioritize content, it's all different, right? Just really quick touching base on advertising to show you just a really big comparison. Facebook has a 2.6% return. And if you retarget people, it's 4.3%.
Nice.
TikTok is 0.5%, not even 1%. It's 0.5. And the reason being is those people are just swiping through really quick. You have 1 second to grab their attention. Everything's all about, what the latest trend is and things like that. Whereas on Instagram, you get sucked into it. You want to scroll through it. You want to, have that connection. Facebook being the same exact way. Of course, it's a little older of a demographic because they want to see their friends and family, but you're still sucking them into that, what you have and what you can offer them. Whereas the TikTok is just really quick and fast, fast paced, video wise, picture wise, carousel wise. What I always tell people is you have to experiment with all of them and then see what your consumer likes. Because I could say, hey, carousels are the way to go, right? But that doesn't mean that their consumer likes carousels because their consumer may like videos or their consumer may like just static images. So it all depends on that consumer itself. And that's where a lot of people also mess up, is because they think, okay, well, I need to do these, I need to do that, so on and so forth. Reels are very huge, right? On Facebook and Instagram, they will push you. But when you're doing that, you still need to make sure, okay, does my audience like Reels? And if they do like Reels, but not as much as, say, a carousel, then mix it up, have 2 or 3 carousels and then a reel. So you still get that organic push to getting new people in because they're going to push you more, but have that content of the carousels to keep your customers coming back.
Beautiful. So what I usually do, because I make social media, organic social media, again, like I said, paid is not my friend, but organic social media strategies, probably about 20 people a month, give or take, on a whatever month I'm in. That's usually what I'm building for other companies, for other creators, whatever. So what I've personally seen work really, really well, because what you guys might be thinking is, awesome, lookalike audiences sound cool, but I don't have an audience yet. So how do I build a lookalike? Or it sounds awesome to know that my consumer is going to relate or react to Reels, so I need to make Reels, but I don't have an audience yet. So I can see that you guys might be thinking that. You might be kind of like, this is not applicable to me because I haven't even started. So what I like to do for anyone who's starting, and then you're going to have data to be able to play around with after, is there's usually 3 different quote unquote audiences that you're hitting with any organic strategy. And the good news is this is almost something that you can apply to a paid strategy as well. So with an organic strategy, you're going to have content for new potential incoming people, content to appease those new potential incoming people, like to basically build off of the reason they came to you in the first place, and then content to keep current people happy. So if you can just remember those 3 things, you want something for new, something to keep the new interested so that they don't fall off or that they get represented with your information and want to stick around and follow you, or obviously and number 3 is to keep your current people happy. If you can just remember those 3 different pieces or types of pieces of content, you can pretty much build an entire content strategy, no matter what brand you are, no matter what products you sell. It really doesn't matter, because when you're trying to figure out who that audience is, you're trying to get an influx of those people coming in first and foremost. You want those people to stay, and then people who have been here maybe a little bit longer that are your current, current audience, you want them to get value from your stuff every day as well. What I've seen time and time and time again as a creator manager myself, as a creator consultant myself, is new. They're always trying to get more views. They're always trying to go viral again. They're always trying to get as much people to them because they feel that high views and high volume of followers is what success equals. However, I have worked with over 100 creators who had over 100,000 followers, and I'm talking in the millions. I know I had one girl that I worked with that was at, I think it was 52 million followers, and she was making dang good money as it relates to the algorithm. So they were paying her, the platforms were paying her for views, but she could not sell a freaking digital product to save her life. And it's because she did not curate that audience. She did not make them feel like they were even wanted to be there. She just wanted that number to climb higher and higher and higher. So that's what I want to say for you guys is, if you are starting out, or if you've been doing this for a little while and you can't seem to gain that traction, it might be because you're missing one of those 3 people. Do you have any thoughts about that, George?
Yeah, so exactly what you just said right there. But I want to start off with what you said in the beginning was, like, you may not have the amount of people yet, right? Everybody has to start somewhere. Right. Don't think like, I didn't start with customers. I didn't start with reviews. I didn't start with sales, right? Nobody does. And if you look back at all time in history, all right, you have like Coca-Cola, what they sell, like 3,000 Cokes their first year. Okay. And now they sell like 2 billion a day. Not a day. I think a year. Either way, it was like 3,000 in their first year, right? Nike just sat there selling shoes for 15 years. You have Gary Vee. Everybody knows who Gary Vee is. And obviously he's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. So if you're wondering why I always swear, If you see him, I think I'm a little bit more tame. Okay. So
Yeah,
stop
a little.
anyway, with that being said, when he started his business, right, he made a video every day for 5 days for, I think it was 18 months before he actually got recognized, and it like boosted him up. So just imagine that if you made a video every day and put it on YouTube every day for 18 months, would you get burned out? You would feel like it, because you immediately think that you need to have some sort of success that's like instant, when in reality it takes time, and he understood that. So like, your burnout is just a mental thought that you're burning yourself out, when in reality most people just are looking at others and thinking, oh, their success is so good. Like your statement here of the 50 million followers, you think her success is great, but when you see behind the door, her success is good on one part but not the second part. So that also comes down to the customers, like you were saying before, of how many followers you have and things like that. I want you to step into a room of 1,000 people and look around. That's a lot of people. So when somebody complains and says, oh, I only had 1,000 views, or, oh, I only have 1,000 followers, you know how much that is? That's a huge, that's a massive amount of people in one space that want your product, that want to see things from you. And that's amazing, because once you can understand that and you can talk with those and relate to those people, you can actually do a lot for them as well as yourself, and that's like the most important thing right there, is just not looking at the numbers on everything. And also starting with day one, not one day, just day one, right now, today, go and make some content, get yourself out there. Because if you don't, you're just going to keep pushing it back, and then you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt going, why didn't I start yesterday?
Agreed. And what's even cooler about that is I just pulled up my own Instagram. I'm not going to pull it up on here necessarily, but just to kind of give you guys an idea, I have, I think it's like 19.9 thousand on this one account that I was very, very grateful to grow it, but I grew it over the course of took me about 6 months to get to that point. At zero, had literally nothing. I just started my business account and then was able to do that in 6 months, which I was really grateful for. However, it was because 3 viral posts. And then that brought in a bunch of people into my space. Never grew again, by the way. Those 3 viral videos came in, kept me there, and it's been 2.5 years now that I've been sitting at that number. However, I say that because you guys might look at that account of mine and be like, oh, she's killing it. Like, she's got 20,000. She posts every day, whatever. This must be like super, super awesome. I'm being super vulnerable with you guys right now, super transparent. That account, I'm just literally looking at my own numbers right now. It's 19.8, by the way. So that account has an engagement rate of 0.12%. Okay, stick with me. And that's based on 11 posts, give or take 11 to 12 posts over the past couple of days. I go to my other account, which is very, very intentionally curated. It is a very particular audience, just like we're talking about today. And I built this account to literally determine who my people are so I could get paid advertising for them. So it's literally what this account is. So 386 followers. Not doing great. And I've had this account for probably about 5 or 6 months itself. So the difference in 386 over 6 months, 19,000 over 6 months. The engagement rate of this account is 6.27%. Granted, I have less followers, so it's a little bit better, of course, for me to be able to get higher engagement on those. But I've made over $20,000 over 6 months from this account. So 386 followers, but they are so intentionally curated. They are so intentionally sought out. I am literally speaking to them as if they were right there in the room in all of my content. The other account, however, that has the, give or take almost 20,000 followers or so, went viral for something that I'm not even freaking doing anymore in my business at all. So I've got all these people that are just like, I don't even care, Leslie, because we're not in that space. We were in the 2 years ago Leslie space, or 2 years ago business space, whatever it is. So I just wanted to tell you guys, like I said, being super vulnerable with you today about my own business, that I actually have received way more money by getting really, really fine-tuned on my person than I ever received from a giant account. I had 150,000 followers on TikTok, and I made less money on that account than I did with this account. As it relates to brand deals, though, that's something I did want to kind of bring up, because a lot of people do make good money. I made a lot of really, really good money that I was grateful for at the time on TikTok working with brand partners, but I was not making good money from consumers. So if that's your goal and you want to do like a B2B kind of concept, absolutely grow a personal brand, get those big numbers, get those big engagement rates, whatever, because that's going to be able to get you brand partners. But if you're looking to sell to consumers, in my opinion, from experience and working with, like I said, over 100 different creators with over 100,000 followers each, ranging in the millions sometimes, the number of followers does not matter at all if you're not making sales at the end of the day.
Just to talk about that point, it's really funny. We can't tell where the content's going to go based off that platform either.
True.
So in my communities and the people that I help, I'd say it's about 85% women and about 15% men, right?
That's interesting.
So,
I never expected that.
Yeah. So I went in, and a lot of people that are female are a little scared of AI. So I went in maybe 6-7 months ago, and I said, hey, ladies, what can I help you with AI? And a lot of them said prompting. So I said, all right, perfect. I'm going to make a video for you. Made a video, launched it on YouTube. Thing has 83,000 views on it.
Oh,
well, it brought all guys in.
AI. Yep.
And AI people.
Exactly.
And I ended up with like 6,000 people in a month, which skewed my algorithm and where it was going. Meanwhile, I was just trying to help the people in my community.
Right.
And it screwed up. So that's another thing, is like, like you're talking about, something went viral. We don't have the, saying to Instagram or Facebook or YouTube and say, hey, I only want you to show it to these people, okay? Not these ones, because it's just, they're going to show it to who they think is going to benefit the best from it. And then sometimes we end up with, the crapshoot of it, where we're just like, oh, well, thanks a lot, guys.
I'm glad that we both had that experience, because it is so hard. And I know you and I talked about this. This was like maybe a year or more ago now, but like you had to work for like 6 to 8 weeks of very intentionally curated videos to get the algorithm to remember who you were actually trying to talk to. And so that's something that's important to think about too. If you guys are going for numbers, and it's not $ numbers, just keep that in mind, that this might actually hurt you in the long run. I thought when I first started this business, man, I thought I wanted to be an influencer. I thought I wanted to be out there with my face out there all the time. I wanted to be the brand. No, it took me about 4 months to realize this is not for me. I can't be out all the time. I want to be helping all the time. I do not want to be the person, the purpose for the business. I want purpose in the business. And that's where I get from being able to like help you guys. And I know obviously, George, you're like this as well. So when we're thinking about the like kickoff strategy, so if someone maybe has been doing social media organically, I don't want to say wrong, but they've been doing it in a way that maybe is a little bit different than what we're talking about today, and they want to get to the paid space, what do you recommend them doing to get to that point organically now? Like if we were able to give them like a 7-day roadmap, is there anything that you would say can get them to that point very quickly, not to do paid advertising in 7 days per se, but be able to have an understanding of who their people are and not getting a bunch of AI men coming through the door if that's not what they're selling?
So in a minute, I'll share my screen showing some, because I did look up some companies that were doing things so that we can analyze that really quick. But for 7 days, what I would do is just start posting, and try to see, okay, what works, what doesn't. Just get out there, because once you get to day 7, you're not going to feel so scared anymore, right? And I just want you to start today. Think, okay, what is my best product? Or what is a product that's maybe not selling that I want to get out there? But instead of just throwing up a mock-up, which so many people do, you need to put it in a life setting. You want to put it in a placement that people would want to see themselves using that product, right? And start designing it that way. Start seeing from the consumer's end. So day one, let's start seeing from the consumer's end and start creating those mock-ups. And thankfully with AI now, you can do that within seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then post that on there. Make a video using Grok or Kling, or even VO3 if you have that. Make a quick video, put that on there. Do a carousel, as well, and just have all three of those and just do boom, 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 back and forth, and then look at your engagement at the end of the day. As you and I have always agreed on, is data is like king, or queen.
Yeah.
It's always going to it's not going to lie to you. It's going to tell you what's working and what's not. And as you look at that data and say, okay, after day 7, hey, this is working, this is not working. Now you know which direction to go in. And now you're not going to feel so scared to do it because now you have a proper direction to take. So day one, start with the different things, understand from the consumer's eyes. Every single day, just post something different. And then from there, look at that data. And I promise you, you're not going to feel so scared once you have that direction.
Agreed. I also think that even just stepping back even a little bit further, let's do 14 days. So I'm going to put George's 7 days mark at the 7-day mark. So from 7 to 14. I kind of want to step back a little bit, and even especially for anyone who is not familiar yet, because like if we're literally starting at 0 on Instagram, you might see 0 results for your first 7 days, even if you're posting like 10 times a day. We don't know. There are literally thousands, maybe even millions at this point, of posts going live every few minutes on these platforms. So what I actually would recommend to kind of prep for this as well, just so you don't feel like you are lost, or you don't feel like, I don't even know what to post. Like George and Leslie are telling me to do all these different things, but like, what do I do in the video? What do I do in the carousel? What do I do with the static? What I would recommend doing is going into, which we're actually going to jump into a little bit right now. I'm going to let George share his screen in a second. But I want to think about like who your ideal person is, but also who your ideal person follows. So what other companies are they following? Or maybe just companies that kind of look like yours. So if you're selling, let's say watercolor, actually, I used this in an example a couple weeks ago, so I'm just going to use it again because I still haven't cleaned off my desk from 2 weeks ago, if you guys know me. So this little thing that I used as an example 2 weeks ago in our other live stream, my sister wrote me this like cute little card for Valentine's Day. So if you make these kinds of things, whether it be printed or you just do the watercolor art on the front, whatever, you can straight up very easily go into Instagram right now, go into TikTok right now, whatever, and literally type in watercolor art. And you're going to be able to see people who have been putting in the time, who have been creating the content ridiculously fast, or maybe there are multiple people who you can see across the board. And then you're going to be able to see that they kind of did the work for you and they know what works. And you can see what's working and what's not working on their pages. And then get an idea of, can I replicate that in a unique way? So you guys have probably heard the Picasso saying, steal like an artist. If you have not read that book, I highly, highly recommend doing so, because if you're getting really serious about knowing how to market your business, and that's really what we've been talking about for the past couple weeks on this channel, if you're getting really serious about scaling or getting really serious about getting your stuff out there to the right people, highly recommend understanding how to steal like an artist. I ain't gonna lie, you guys are really good about doing it on Etsy designs. So you just got to apply that exact same concept to marketing. So with that said, George, I want to be able to share your screen, but is there anything else you want to say off of that note real fast?
So before, not on the stealing part, but there is, well, actually, yeah, you could. All right. So the other day I was showing somebody this, and I think a lot of people need to hear this, is analyzing your competitors, right? Before, like, I have the background, Leslie has the background. So we know both how to do this, but a lot of you out there don't. AI, ChatGPT. So I helped, one of my students the other day. We took an ad from the competitor and we threw it into ChatGPT as well as an active ad and said, why was this deactivated? Why is this active?
That's smart.
And it broke down the whole entire thing for us.
Wow.
Then it said, okay, well, I want to beat them. So now it gave a whole layout of how to advertise to our consumer using our competitor to get better reach than them and better exposure, engagement, and actually stop that scroll. So using ChatGPT in that way, instead of just, hey, write me an email, or hey, make me
Right.
sound human, make it an employee for you and have it analyze the things that you cannot do.
I love that. I
Also,
never even thought about showing the deactivated versus the activated before.
yeah.
I've always been like, this is what is currently active that I know is performing, or else they wouldn't be having it for the past 6 weeks. Make it for me. And I've never thought about, why did this get turned off? Because especially companies that got a bunch of money to spend on ads, they are turning off and on and off and on and off and on every single day. So like I said, they're doing the work for us, and then we can just go behind the scenes, take the work they've already done, and build something ourselves. That's so smart.
And the big thing is, before I start showing my screen and showing social media and showing ads, the new thing now, well, it hasn't been new, it's been for a couple of years, don't sell. Like, don't sell. Okay. It's 80-20 split or 85-15 split, however you want to look at it. But for the most part, you want to give value, right? So when you're trying to sell something, you don't say, hey, buy this product. Hey, buy it now. You just say, look at this product, but don't say, look at this product. Just be like, hey, look at, that's it. Okay. You're going to get more sales doing that, because now the people don't feel like you're shoving sales down their throat the entire time. And when you do that, they're grateful of that. They're going to start following you. They're going to start liking your content. And then eventually they're going to click on your link and buy your stuff, just because you're not salesy. There's so many salespeople. It's just crazy. It's like if you ever went to another country and you're going through, a shopping area, how many times do people stop over and go, buy this, buy this, buy this? By the end of it, it's like annoying, and you're exhausted after saying no 15 times, Don't be that person. You'll get more sales by not being that person. I promise you that.
Agreed. What's so funny too is there's a lot of people joining us today. We have almost 80 people just sitting here, hanging out, having a conversation with us. What we're doing right now is free value, right? So like, George has a business, EverBee has a business. Our goals are very similar, that like, we need to pay our bills, right? So like, there is money, quote unquote. There is sales, quote unquote.
Hold on. We're not getting paid for this.
Wait,
no.
Hold on. Let me call Cody real quick. You have to take that up with him, brother. I don't know. But that's actually such a good point. A lot of people assume, by the way, that anytime they see a guest on a channel, vice versa, whether it's me and you on me, whatever it is, they always assume that we're getting compensated in some form. Literally never. It's always just us there to share value, right? And then earlier, George mentioned, I don't even know if you guys noticed it, but I do, because I've obviously been in sales for almost 14 years now. I noticed that George dropped his little, he has a new app called 1 Hour Social. We're going to talk a little bit about that at the end as well. But he has a new app that he created for you guys that allows you to basically schedule out your social media posts and connect to your paid advertising campaigns for like 1/100th of the cost of the leading competitor. You guys probably didn't even realize that happened, but you told me in the chat that you were interested in looking into it. George sold today without ever selling anything, because he didn't come off salesy. He didn't say, this is this, and it is this much money, and it is going to have these features. He talked about what it's going to do for you guys and why he made it. And then he moved on with the rest of his conversation. Like, this is the exact perfect example of something that you guys can replicate in your content as well. Not necessarily a live stream per se, but something of that nature, how naturally George was able to talk about something. Because I'm going to say this, not for you, George, you can say yes or no, but if you are making something that you truly believe in and that you truly believe can help people, then it's going to be easy as butter to sell it, because you're going to be able to naturally and easily and cohesively speak about that thing, because you feel so like excited about it. You feel so like vindicated. You're vindicating a person by giving it to them. It would be a disservice to actually not talk about your product to the people that you're helping. And I know you guys might be hearing this being like, I only sell t-shirts. Cool. What is the person who wants to buy that t-shirt struggling with? Do they want to find their tribe in public? Do they want to wear something out to their yoga class that can get them a friend potentially, because maybe they're scared to go out into yoga classes, aka me, and meet new people, and they want to wear something that would actually get them connected? They're trying to build a community. Are they trying to build a tribe? Are they trying to stand a political stance? If they're trying to get out there and let people know what they believe in, those are all very, very important intrinsic motivation things for them. So that is what you are helping them with. And if you can feel super validated in yourself on what you're building, and you can confirm that you're building things that actually help people in whatever way that is for your own business, it's going to be so freaking easy to sell. And if you are just, ironically, I said it earlier, stealing like an artist from other Etsy sellers, you're not going to feel super into that design, because you didn't either design it yourself and or you didn't do the due diligence and the research that's needed on the person that might buy that item. So once you have that conviction and you know without a doubt that this is something that's going to help someone, this is someone that's going to make something that's going to make them feel good about themselves, that's going to potentially grow their status, going to grow their community, whatever it is. I talked to you guys last week about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you have not looked it up, I don't know why you're here again, because we're still talking about it. If you can figure out what physiological needs we as humans need, then you're going to be able to sell to them so naturally and so easily, because you're going to be able to build things that they absolutely want to see and need to see in their lives. Tangent done.
Here's the thing with that too, is like the sales. If you're very confident about something, like I am 1 Hour Social and saving like Hootsuite's $500 a month, and I charge $7 right now. It's going to go up to $17 next week. $500, $17. So when somebody comes to me sales wise and they're like, well, explain to me why your stuff's better, I'm like, go to Hootsuite. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool. Cool story. Because I am confident in that product to the point where it's like, all right. And, as Etsy sellers, I remember I would always get that all the time where somebody would message and be like, so-and-so has it cheaper. I'm like, then cool, go to so-and-so.
Right.
And then they end up purchasing from you because they're like, why don't they want our money? Why don't they? Why? And then they purchase from you anyway. So because you're confident in what you sell, like the quality, the product, the design, So at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to chase you and explain why you should use this program or why you should purchase this from me. Purchase it from somebody else if you want to. I'm not going to try to twist your arm.
Right. Write a bad review and then come back over when you're ready.
Yeah.
That's what I say all the time too about EverBee Store. I've gotten that question so many freaking times over the past year, because we launched EverBee Store. It was like last June, but we were really like teasing it out through April of 2025. I've gotten that question so many times over the past year of like, what's the difference between EverBee Store and Shopify? Why is EverBee Store better than Shopify? But they are not the same. They're not comparable. It is like a brand new website builder that we are intentionally curating for the people who are scared of Shopify, literally, because it's so big. And Shopify has recently, over the past like 2 to 3 years or so, maybe even longer than that, just to my knowledge, 2 to 3 years, has really been targeting giant 8-figure businesses. They want to be the website provider for those 8-figure businesses. They want to be the website provider for Coca-Cola, right? Using our example from earlier, EverBee Store is for the people who are literally getting forgotten, if you can say that right, Leslie, getting forgotten by Shopify, or are being overwhelmed by Shopify. So it's kind of like what you said. It's like, if you guys want to go to Shopify, like, please, by all means, go do it. It's an incredible platform. I've personally used it for multiple businesses. However, because I've personally used it, I know how non-beginner friendly it is. So if you're looking for something a little more beginner friendly, come back and see us. Like, that's really how I kind of look at it as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have a background of web development. That's what I went to school for originally. So,
oh no, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, without that, probably Shopify would be torturous, because a lot of people spend months, if not years, trying to do it. Yeah. You spend thousands of dollars and you still don't have a website to launch at the end of the day. Right.
Right.
Whereas EverBee, obviously, we had a webinar. We literally built the whole website within an hour.
Yeah.
So and we BS'd, and plus you just escaped from the hospital that day too. Like,
I forgot about that.
Literally built it in an hour while Leslie was running from the paramedics. But I mean, it's just insane. And in that case, just don't even worry about those people. But really quick, I want to throw this up here so that we don't waste anybody's time here. If anybody has work to go back to, don't worry. We are going to get you away from that 9 to 5.
That's the goal.
All right. So with that being
said, it comes up. Let's see.
All right. Share screen. Entire screen. There we go.
There you are.
All right, you can see me?
Wow, there's a lot of us.
All right, so the first thing I want to show you really quick is just 1 hour social, then I'm going to go into social media, then I'll go into ads, okay? So this is 1 hour social here, where you can actually add all these things. You have a calendar. Obviously, that was just here. So you have your calendar here. You have all the breakdown. You have your comment section where you can see all your comments, your statistics, even your social listening here, where you can see Google Trends, Pinterest, Wikipedia, YouTube, TikTok, hashtags, popular songs. This is updated daily. You can even search up past days, okay? From there, say if you want to make a new post, you create new post. And from here, you literally can do all the social media accounts that you want. And like I said, it's unlimited. You can come here, throw anything on here if I want, add pictures. But you can also click this customize button to make each one individually and then schedule it.
Important.
As soon as you go schedule it, it gives you the best times to post based off of your consumers that are following you. So this is one thing. But just to show you Raf's, his success so far in the past 7 days from posting, he has 122,000 impressions, 500 new followers. This is just 7 days, too. So just a week, 2.68 thousand comments, 40,000 likes. And when somebody sees this, and he gave me permission to show this, when somebody sees this, they're like, wow, well, I can't do that or whatnot. Yes, you can. With this program, it makes it easier. But as you see how many posts he does, right? Pinterest, 39, 11 on Instagram, 16 on Facebook, right? So he's not just posting one time a day. He's posting throughout the entire day, which is helping with this and helping with the followers, helping with the likes, all that. He has 448 posts in just that past, week, which has accumulated this many people. Without a system like this, it'd be virtually impossible because you would have to go into Pinterest each and every single time posting it, Instagram, Facebook. Whereas here, I can do this over and over. I can click on the media. I can upload a picture. I can do little text, all that stuff right from here. And it just makes it easier. Now, with that being said, just going into social media here, I like to show this company and I like to show Talentless because I do wear Talentless a lot. As you scroll through here, you notice that they're selling their product, right? But they have carousels because that's what their consumer likes the best, okay? But they're not like pushing it per se of, hey, it needs to be a close-up of their actual product, right? It's showing lifestyle of the product, people wearing that product itself. This is how you sell people, okay? Same thing here. I showed this company before. This company sells their hats at 4 times the cost of other people. They also do not run ads. They don't run ads on Facebook. They don't run ads on TikTok. They don't run ads on Etsy. They have 8.6 thousand sales, and they sell their hats for $40 a pop. And if you scroll through here, you see it's just their hat in different scenes. They'll be wearing it here like this. And if I click on one, it just says, have the day you deserve.
Wow.
They're not saying, buy this now for 20%, right? And because of that, people appreciate it. They'll like it. They'll follow you. As you see, they have 19,000 followers. And all they do is just click on here, and then you can go to their link tree, and you can either shop on their website or shop on Etsy. Nice. So that's how you want to start advertising to people. Also, when you're on Instagram, which is right now one of the top ways to search for people, as well as TikTok and things like that on searching for products, when you're coming here, you're going to hit the search button and you'll do something here like, say, dog shirts or jewelry. If I click on jewelry, right, all these things are going to pop up, and this is how people are starting to find products these days. So it's going to pop up here, and as you see, it's just beautiful. It's aesthetically pleasing. So when you're doing the search here, you want to make sure that your products are aesthetically pleasing like this as well. Because the longer you keep somebody on Instagram or Facebook or whatnot, they're going to push you organically, which is exactly what he is doing here. He has so many posts here that when somebody goes to one of his posts and they see it and they click like on it, guess what they see more of? His posts, because now they're engaging and they want to keep showing it. This is why he's getting such high impressions, high comments, high followers, high likes, is because they have realized, okay, this guy pulling out the numbers, let's keep pushing him to keep him on the platform. But eventually, like I said, people are like, ooh, I like this. Let's scroll up and let's click on the link to buy the stuff. That's how you sell people, okay? Now, just going based off of ads really quick here, I have a couple things. Mod Pause, for example, the reason I'm pulling this up here, they have 300,000 sales, and people are like, well, 300,000 sales, you know, I got to compete against them, right? They're running Facebook ads. They're running Instagram ads. They're running Etsy ads. You have no idea how much money they're spending on ads, okay? So when you see somebody have 300,000 and, you know, one of my stores has 252,000, you don't know how much money I was spending on ads on a daily basis.
Right.
So you stop competing against these competitors that have this many type of, you know, ads running. And just to show another one here, like Art Designer. Art Designer currently has 45 ads running right now.
Dang, that's crazy.
And if I come through here and I go to their inactive, they originally had, I think it was like 1,200 that they've tested. Yeah, 1,200 ads.
A lot of testing.
So again, like when you think, okay, I'm going to put one ad online and it's going to be successful, that's the BS that you hear online from the misinformation. It's this that really is pulling up, you know, the testing, the data, seeing what's working, what's not. And even just going into the one last one here, Aloe. Everybody knows Aloe. Aloe is blown up. They're taking over Lululemon right now. All right. As I scroll through here, they're not selling you. Again, you know, the next fave just dropped, right? So it's like a little salesy, but it's not like 20% off like it used to be. Okay. You know, your next, let's see, So Fresh, So Sweet. Take a bit of this perfect shade of purple. Like, again, not selling you. They're mixing up these posts too. So they have a picture of just yoga pants. Then they have a picture of somebody with coffee. Then they have a picture of all of the, you know, style next to each other, like the pink, which obviously my wife actually bought this whole set.
Nice.
Then they have the
video set that you were looking at.
Yeah, they have videos, you know, so they're testing all these different things at once. Okay, well, if I test this video here of somebody shopping with a bag and opening it up, does that work better than, say, somebody walking in the outfit? So all of this is important when you're doing things because, like I said earlier, a lot of people just assume, hey, you know, I post one ad, I'm good to go. So one, social media, build up your social media presence, see what's working, what's not working. Now you can take that and convert that and start using that as an ad. And here's the thing with Facebook ads and meta ads in general, is when you're doing the custom audience or a custom lookalike audience, you can actually target people that have specifically liked your pictures before, or a specific ad, or a specific, you know, engagement of like recent followers or old followers. So that really helps you because if they like the certain ad or a certain picture, you know, okay, they like this. I'm going to say, I want to target people that liked this particular post. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to take that product and make it into a different style ad creative. And now you're selling it because as soon as they see it, as they're scrolling through, their subconscious clicks and goes, I swear I saw that before. This is gorgeous. You know, maybe should I buy it? Should I not? They may like it. They may buy it, whatever. But as soon as they hit that like button, guess what they're going to see again from you? Another one and another one. Then they're going to start seeing your page. They're going to start seeing you. You're going to be in their dreams throughout the night. And they're going to have to wake up at 2 a.m. and hit that buy button because they can't sleep. All right. So that's literally social media, Facebook ads. This is how you get paid. This is how you make money, but you have to do it the right way. That's why I have, you know, it's E365 now. So I have a school platform called E365. It's $7 a month. And 1 Hour Social is $7 a month right now. It's going up to $17 next week. Again, Hootsuite's $500 a month. So, and honestly,
back in the day,
you know, honestly, even if you don't use my program that I created to save you money, please do not neglect social media. Just to give you some stats, 67% of people use social media right now to shop. 90% of Gen Z people have reported that they have purchased something that they saw on a social media platform in the past 6 months. So that's where we're going. That's where we're skewing. So whether you want to use the app that I've created to help you or not, please do not neglect social media.
I love that. I also wanted to, obviously you shared your screen lightly. So I just want to show everybody else too, if you're not in a place to invest right now, for whatever reason, like maybe a schedule or whatever it is, This is something that George just had up a second ago. I also put it in the live chat so you guys can see it. This is a completely free thing. This is not something that George only had access to. So this wasn't like something that he had in the back end for his business or whatever. Like literally just type in FB ads library into Google. It's going to be the very first thing. And then it's going to take you to this page right here. And then all you got to do is make sure you're in the US if that's where you want to be, of course. And then I usually just drop ad category down to all ads. And then you simply just start typing shit in. As you can see, I have like a bunch of different things that I was looking up last week, like hot dog collars. Don't ask what I was looking up. But you can literally type in, let's just say t-shirt, for example. Or if there is a very particular brand you want to look up and you want to see what they're doing behind the scenes, you literally just type them in. Let's say we go to teacher t-shirts, for example. Oh, something went wrong. Great. Good news. Thanks, Facebook. You're helping out a lot today. So there's only one right now, but this is a quick example of how you can see their exact right now active ads from the last month or so. So they started running it on January 13th. You can actually click into it and go to their page. You can see like what their product page looks like. So if I click into it, it takes me over here. You can also see the details of the ad itself. You can see the copy that they're currently using. And then like we were just showing a second ago, you can see the videos as well. So without me going like too in depth, you can actually utilize this platform for free all day, every day. Look up as many brands as you want. It's unlimited. There's no like cap to being what you can like kind of play with on this. I use this every single time I am trying to come up with an organic content strategy for my creators or for my clients. Because if someone is putting money for a good amount of time behind something, that usually means that something is working for them. So I actually, instead of just going the route of looking at their Instagram account and seeing what we can steal as an artist in our brand, I actually go to their paid through the FB ads library as well. Because like I said, if they're putting money behind it over the course of 1 to 2 months and they haven't deactivated it yet, that usually means that it's performing for them. So could it also perform for us if we can make it in a unique way? So just wanted to make sure I spotlighted that a little bit, because it's something that you guys can use all day long, limitless, and it's completely free. So it's something that you guys can literally start building a paid and organic strategy with literally today.
And here's the thing, like everything that we've mentioned, both Leslie and I, and like social media, right? Obviously, yes, I have a program to help you and make it easier. Can you do it for free? Yes, you could just go to Facebook. You can go to Pinterest. You can go to Instagram and make your posts. Like, it's not necessary, right? Same thing with Facebook ads. Inside my course that I have that link for there, as well as the strategies on how to actually use Facebook ads, right? But you can figure it out because all this information is out there for free. You just need the right information to fast track your success. So that's why these things exist. Now I try to keep them as cheap as possible for everybody, but that's why it exists, right? Everything out there is free. Well, except for Hootsuite, that's $500.
Right. We'll say that one.
It used to be free when I worked at Samsung. It was free.
No, dude, I was literally about to say that because I used to use Hootsuite for when I was in corporate and I was working with my clients under someone else's, payment, obviously. And it was like, I think it was maybe $20 a month, like at the absolute max I ever paid. So they're doing something right. Good for them.
Yeah, that's why I created that program too, is because I told somebody to use it, and then they came back and said, "You told me to use a $500 a month." Right. And I said, "5." Well, they said, "Oh, well, it's $400 if I do the year." And I said, "Hold on, what? How much?" And then because I was used to it being free when I worked there.
For real.
Yeah.
Okay, so today I know we've gone a little bit over time, guys. So I really appreciate 99% of you guys are still hanging out with us. I love these conversations. I'm so grateful for everyone that was super engaged in the comment section as well. So I do just have 2 or 3 things that I want to hit on from questions/comments we got. The first thing that I saw someone ask was, what was the EverBee Facebook group? So I went ahead and dropped that in the live chat for you, but you can also find it in every single description of our videos, our live streams. You'll see it at the very bottom, but it is the EverBee members. It's very simple. So facebook.com/groups/EverBee members, and you can find us very quickly there. Someone else brought something up for being safe. This is interesting. I want to bring this up real fast. Being safe on social media. She said, I just want to be safe on social media. I don't want my personal info exposed. So I'm trying to be real safe before I start posting. So the good news is you do not have to share your personal info whatsoever. To be honest, you don't even have to show your face if you don't want to, because you could hire other creators to do the work for you, like I'm doing right now on EverBee, for example. You can hire UGC creators that they just give you like little one-offs, and then you can post that. You can literally just do product videos or like you saw very easily with what George said. I probably can bet my last dollar on the fact that both of the accounts that George showed us did not show, first of all, private information, but also the person's face that owns the company on either of those two at all. It was completely different
now too. Creating a clone is 10 times easier now.
That's true.
You literally throw a product in their hand. I mean, I'm a clone right now. No.
Oh my God. But it's like, we're not actually here.
it only takes maybe 15 minutes these days now to create a clone. So, and I'm going to try to teach that as best as possible for people out there that are beginners. But I think that that's necessary for the people that don't want to be seen. TikTok shopping, for example, is supposed to hit $20 billion this year. So if you can get out there, like,
crazy.
Amazing. But a lot of people, like, you said they don't like to show their face. So if I can try to create something to help them, I think that would be best.
I love that. It's kind of new. It's been probably out for like 4 or 5 months, like the cloning idea of really being like, can we do this and it not look like you're like, just like really dumb, really AI look that doesn't match, almost like a Japanese movie that's dubbed, right? It doesn't match it's called, what's it called? Something lip smack or something, like when their lips move, but it doesn't match the words. It's just now getting to the point where an AI clone is very, very good. And it's only going to keep getting better. So yeah, any training that you can give on that would be so, so helpful. But George, before we close out today, I like to kind of like always, and you've been on this a couple times, so you probably know, but like I always like to say, if we were to never, ever hear from you again, unfortunately, which is not going to happen here, obviously, but if we were to never hear from you again in this community from the conversation that we did today, what is one last thing you'd like to leave both of our, because they're also here on your side, both of our communities with today?
I like flowers, so if you could send me to the funeral home, that's cool. I know I'm a guy, but I do like flowers sometimes, okay?
Never see you again. Give him flowers. Just don't forget.
No, honestly, don't get discouraged out there. I hate seeing that. I help a lot of people, and I hate when they get discouraged, and it's just the misinformation out there that think that all this is easy. I'm not going to say it's not easy. It's easy once you have the correct game plan, but the issue is like you hear one thing from over here, one thing from over here, one thing from over here, and the meshes mess you up. So just pick one person, focus on that, learn from that, and succeed. But do not get discouraged, okay? If this were as easy as everybody always says it is, then everybody would be rich in that sense. But it is simpler than you think. You just kind of overthink things sometimes. And I know that just contradicted itself in what I just said, but it's pretty much understanding what from one person. Like Leslie, she could teach you one thing, and when you listen to her, you'll take off, right? And if you listen to me, you'll take off. But if you listen to both of us at the same time, which I don't think, because we both literally think identical.
I know, honestly, it's weird.
Yeah. But say if we did have differences, right? That's what's kind of slow you down. That's where the whole like.
So true.
Yeah. So honestly, don't get discouraged. Push yourself. If you want to live this life, you can do it. Just knowing yourself that you can do it. It comes from the mind first. Mindset is so important. So just know that you're going somewhere, envision it in your life, and you will get there. And just follow one path, and you'll succeed. And I'll be so happy. And make sure you send me flowers.
Just in case we never see him again. I love it. Well, thank you so much, George, again. I always have a blast talking with you. Like you said, our brains are just like, I think they just work so well off of each other. Like you say something and then I say something, and then we don't get through any of our questions at all, because it's just all compounding on just really, really awesome information from life experience from both of us. So I just love, love, love when you come on here. I know we'll see you a couple more times this year, hopefully on the channel, especially if we start getting into the AI stuff and you really start adding those trainings to your community. So if you want, George, I'm going to get you also. We talked about this beforehand, but he is going to send me over the link for 1 Hour Social. So if you're interested in checking that out, the thing that we talked about today for scheduling your post, I'm going to pop that in the description of this live stream after we close out. So please go ahead and come back if you'd like and look for that. I'm not going to put it in the live chat because the live chat ceased to exist after I hang up. So you will find it in the description of this. If you were interested in EverBee Store, if you were interested in FB Ads Library, all the different things we talked about today, I'll go ahead and drop them in the description of this live stream. And I will see you guys, as just because someone asked me, can I be let know that this is happening faster? I will see you guys next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. And thank you again, George, for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Talk to you guys soon. See ya.